This is the second small group discussion with J. Krishnamurti in Bombay, 1977.
I wondered if we could go on with that that we started with last discussion. Something that several people raised the question of this business of momentum. We didn't get at what is the momentum of the creation of the thinker, or what is the momentum of the adhesion that produces this identification with the thinker. Last night in the talk, you brought out that there's this whole the sensation, contact, pleasure, thought, and desire, and then you made a jump, which is, well, if this wasn't there, what then? But I find that a bit kind of a facsimile of the imagination, if then. The fact is, we're faced with this momentum, this movement. And I think if we could look at it, what is that momentum, or that constant creation of the thinker, of the observer?
Don't you think in order to investigate that, one should go into this problem of dissipating energy?
What do you, I don't know what you mean by that.
Momentum, the propelling forward, the thing which pushes, the thing which creates. It appears that just as there is an energy which propels the body and dissipates, there is the same kind of energy involved in the process of thinking and the process of creating in the thinker. If we could go into energy per se, the energy which dissipates and the energy which does not dissipate, if there is such one.
Well, I don't think we know what we mean by energy. I mean, if you want to go into it, in science, I recently discovered what was so interesting to me is that when, I think it was Maxwell who first used the word energy, and energy for a scientist is the definition of, is always defining relationship. I think the word energy is relationship, means relationship.
Energy
means relationship.
Energy means relationship.
Right.
In the sense in which we have been using that word during these discussions, I think we refer to attention as the relevant form of energy. We really mean, when you said dissipating energy, it really comes to that whenever we are using the word energy in this context of self-knowing, I think we mean attention. Am I right, or am I oversimplifying?
I am raising this, maybe I'm going off the tangent, but I'm raising it because of certain thing Krishnaji said at that seminar in Madras, which I have been wanting to probe at Krishnaji for some time. He made a statement. He said, I know more about Kundalini than all of you. Then I know everything about Kundalini. He made a statement. Now, Kundalini basically is the awakening of certain stored energy which does not dissipate in the human body, linked to certain psychic points within. And I wanted to investigate with Krishna what he meant by that statement, whether he feels energy is relevant, the problem of energy is relevant to any discussion of this type. whether our understanding the problem of energy will clarify our understanding of the problem of the thinker and the thought.
Well, but when you say energy, and see this I think is an important problem that many people,
Let him sit down. Come out here, sir. Deshpande. Deshpande, come out. Give more room.
ऊंची कुर्सी चल सकते हैं ऊंची कुर्सी चल सकते हैं
कुर्सी से समझ से
हाँ तो दूसरा मिला सकते हैं
सारी मुलेचू
हाँ जरा ले चो लार्ज लेने
ये गड़िया
सन जिसे दुनिया ले
सारी से
You were saying something.
I was wondering when we say energy, do we mean a substance, a definable
A force.
force? Do we mean that? Or does energy really imply the form of the relationship?
I don't quite gather. I don't quite comprehend.
Well, this is, you see, I think we have
Because
always...
energy has played a very
Right.
big part in the whole process of yoga, in the whole process of Kundalini, in the whole process of...
Yeah, I question though whether there's anyone, actually I question whether anyone has ever accurately thought about what energy is in a psychological sense. I think that's been a misunderstood thing.
So that's why we discussed it.
Right.
It might clarify a lot.
But do we mean a substance, a force,
A
a thing
force.
that exists within the person? Or what is the relationship? What,
To what?
To what? Is energy something that is manifested in relationship? And if so, then it raises a whole different kind of question.
No, but doesn't physics now, please forgive me if I have no knowledge of physics, probably you will be able to, that there is an energy which dissipates, and they have come to an energy which in itself does not have the seed of dissipation.
Well, as much as I know, energy is, you see, no physicist can define what energy is. Energy is a basic assumption in physics that it is there. You can play around with it in mathematics. But we know that energy is necessary when there should be a force. Without energy, no force is possible. Without energy, no work is possible. So energy and work, are very much related, or are derivations of energy. So we can use force, we can see work being done, but we can never see energy.
What is the meaning of the word entropic?
Entropic energy, that would, entropic process, that would mean that in this entropic process, there is, as you said, no dissipation of energy. In one container. You see, if you have one container, as a physicist you can make the abstraction and say, you have a black box, and in that black box you have some energy. Now, that energy is conserved always.
No, sir, I think energy is mc square.
Well, that's
E equal to mc square. When you take that, you see, hot water and cold water, if there is a pinhole, then there is a dissipation, equalization of temperatures.
Yeah,
That is entropy.
yeah, that's an
Entropy,
process.
therefore, is an energy that dissipates.
But there is an anti-entropic.
And anti-entropic energy is life energy.
You see,
That's how the scientists...
anti-entropic processes are, have not been known until very recently in
They are
physics.
now being recognized.
Yeah, that there are things like
Now,
entropy.
because the whole Kundalini idea is linked to an idea of anti-entropic.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would like to investigate that.
That seems interesting. Which is that?
You said,
Leave what I said.
no, I can't read what you said.
Yeah, we'll come to it a little later. But what are we discussing? Is
Well, I
there...
think we're-
What is the relationship?
May I put it?
Yes.
Is there energy which is endless, without a beginning and without an end? And is there an energy which is mechanical, like a motor, which has always a motive? And is there an energy which in relationship, in all activity. What is it we are discussing? I'd like to find out.
The word used by Dr. Schellenberg was, what is it that gives momentum?
Let's keep to that.
That is fine. What is it that gives momentum?
What
Creates
is-
the thinker and then continues the thinker.
What is the drive, the force behind all our action? Is it mechanical, right? Or is there an energy, force, drive, a momentum, which is non-friction, which has no friction? Is that what we are discussing?
Yes.
Huh?
And I'll go through a little further. The links of the second one you're talking about with the physical human body. Because Kundalini is just that. I don't want to move completely away from that. Kundalini is the second type of energy you're talking about, without friction, which is linked to certain psychic centers in the human body.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, but let's like if we could just stay with what is the momentum of this energy that gets mechanical. I mean, what is? Let's stay out of the fantasy realm for a moment and just stay with just this momentum of thought and desire and mechanical. This whole. What is the momentum of this energy?
Of what energy?
Of thought, desire, and the creation of the thinker.
Go on, sir, discuss it.
What probably he means is, yesterday you talk of sensation, then thought, then desire, fulfillment of desire, and the whole drive with a little modification goes on continually.
So what is
So
the,
that is momentum,
that is
which
momentum?
drives man into it.
I understand, sir. So you're asking what is the momentum behind desire? Is that it?
Yes. that
Let's
would
keep
be-
it simple.
Keep it very simple.
Simple,
right.
and then we'll expand it.
Right.
What is the drive, the momentum behind desire?
Right.
Proceed, sir.
Well, one thing that immediately comes up is
I desire a car. What is behind that desire? Keep it very simple for a moment. What is the urge, the drive, the force, the energy behind the desire that says I must have a car?
Is it, do you desire the car, or does the car come up as desire and then create the I next? Are you created out of the desire?
If I didn't see the car, actually didn't see the car, didn't feel it, didn't touch it, didn't know what it means, I would have no desire for a car. Because I perceive a car, I see people driving in a car, the pleasure of driving, the energy of driving and all the fun of driving, which is what is there behind that.
Right.
Well, it's very simple.
I feel I am lesser without it.
But sir?
I feel that I am lesser without that car, so I want
No,
to fulfill.
that's not the point, not lesser or more. The Dr. Schellenberg is asking quite a different question, not you desire. He asks, what is the drive, the motive, the urge, the force, the energy, which makes me desire that?
So is it only object which creates desire?
That's a big question.
It may be object, it may be a non-physical object, a physical object, non-physical object, a belief, an idea, anything.
But in the first place, it probably has to be perceivable by the senses, because even you perceive something by the senses, and you make your image of it, and then you desire it. So whatever can be desired, could one say that whatever can be desired, it has to be
Please
sensed.
listen to what he's saying, don't have to look at me.
I have to let you know only because I can't understand this very intellectual things.
It is not intellectual, madam.
But I have to put one thing myself, which I will talk to you.
But madam, this is not a personal interview.
Thank you very much.
So from your question, I asked, is anything which can be desired, has it first to be perceivable through the senses? One could say God, for example. God, I can desire God.
No, that's it, I would say no.
No, you wouldn't say.
Non-sensual perception.
Sensual.
Non-sensual perception.
No, it's not non-sensual perception. But the desire is what maintains the, I use the desire is what keeps the world going.
Desire comes from a question of need, whether it's true or false need.
And
I need something, so
that's bringing down to its
Physical
but
level.
if you take it back to its root.
I feel.
Would there be a desire if there were no I?
So let's be simple.
Yeah.
What is the momentum behind any desire? Let's begin with that. What is the energy that makes me desire? Isn't that it? What is behind my being here? I begin with that. What is the urge that made me come here? Because I came here to find out what you're talking about in discussion. I want to find out something. There the desire is to discover something other than my usual rut of thought. So what is that? Is that desire? Now what is behind desire that made me come here? Is it my suffering? Is it my pleasure? Is it that I want to learn more? Put all those together. Then what is it behind all that?
It's relief. Relief from what I am.
Which is identical in a sense with the process of becoming.
Becoming. What is behind becoming?
To get somewhere that's different from where I am now so that it'll be
Which
better.
is what? What is the energy that's making me do that? Is it punishment and reward? After all our structure of movement is this, punishment and reward. To avoid one, to gain the other. Right? Is that the basic drive or energy that is making us do certain things? Reward and punishment.
Yes.
Like a mouse caught in a trap, you have seen those things. Reward is there, and he has to go through all kinds of things to get it.
Right.
If he doesn't get it, he's punished. So is the motive, the drive, the energy derived from these two, to avoid one and gain the other?
Yes, that's part of it, but there's something
Go
even
slow.
deeper.
We'll take it. We'll
Right.
go slowly, step by step.
That, at the level of thought, that is.
Huh?
at the level of thought. In the
No, not level of thought only. I'm hungry. My reward is food.
Right.
If I do something wrong, my reward is punishment.
Is that different than pleasure and pain?
What?
Is reward the same as pleasure and
No,
punishment?
reward. Don't keep to that word. Don't enlarge it more. Reward and punishment. I think this is the basic, ordinary, common drive.
So, reward and punishment. To whom?
Not to whom. That which is satisfactory and that which is not satisfactory.
But for whom?
No.
You have to posit that.
I have not yet come to that yet. What is satisfying and what is not satisfying.
That's how it's set.
That's how it is said. That which is satisfying I call reward, that which is not satisfying I call it punishment.
Right.
Right? So, there is not the I say I must be satisfied. I have hunger, I'm hungry, food is necessary.
Physically, no, sir. I can't accept.
I'm just taking that as a beginning. I haven't enlarged it, don't agree or disagree.
The hunger comes not because I wish it.
No, hunger is a very
Physiological. That's right, sir. Physiological fear.
Yes. Physiologically, that's one thing.
I'm keeping to that for a moment. Does the physiological thing spill over into the psychological field? And there begins, you follow? I need food, food is necessary. But that same urge goes into the field of psychology, and there begins the whole different cycle. But it's the same movement.
Sir, where is all this process going on?
That's what he's asking, sir. That's what Dr. Schenberg is asking. Where does this all begin?
No, I mean, if it goes in me, if it's what I experience or I participate in this process of investigation, where is it taking place? In brain? Where do I find this pleasure, pain, needs?
Both biological and psychological.
If it is in brain, then there are definitely something which is twilight between pleasure and pain. My needs like hunger and satiety of hunger. There are definitely some moments where it's not necessary for me to be hungry and still desire to be satisfied. It is not necessarily to be, I may be satisfied and still I feel hungry. If it is at the brain, if it is at the physiological level.
I don't quite follow this, what you are
Sir,
saying.
if there is a reward and punishment, and if this process of reward and punishment is to be investigated at brain, at a physiological level, then there are some responses in brain which is in between reward and pain, reward and punishment.
You mean there is a gap between reward and punishment?
Not a gap, but interlink, a bridge.
I mean, there is a state which is neither reward nor punishment.
Yes, you could say not neither, either. Where one merges into another.
But if I may ask, there may be another state. I mean, I don't know if there is or not, but suppose there is. How does this answer the question? Or how does this further the question of of the nature of this force which brings this into being and then keeps it in movement. Basically, that is the...
That's the question. What is the, I mean, how does this momentum, what is this momentum from reward, from punishment to reward, reward to punishment? And even if there were a space in between...
Are you saying, sir, what is it that is pushing one in the direction of reward and punishment? What is the energy? What is the momentum? What is the force? What is the volume of energy that's making more there, avoid that?
Right.
Is that the question?
Right. Still a question. It's a fact.
Huh?
I mean, we know that's a fact.
We know that's a fact. I'm asking, it may be satisfaction, gratification,
Right.
which is pleasure.
Well, that, you see, that you're not going far enough when you say pleasure, satisfaction. What is it?
I'm just beginning, sir.
Right.
First spade. Is it mere gratification? Obviously it is. It looks like it. I'm hungry. There needs to be food.
Yeah. Okay. And then, what is gratification?
I then gratified when I have food in my tummy.
Yeah, but what do you feel? What are you when you're gratified?
What?
What is your state of being when you're gratified that is different from before?
No, after all, it's very simple, isn't it? There is hunger, and food is given, and you're satisfied.
And what is that?
What do you
is
mean?
it when you're
I'm satisfied. If the hunger has stopped.
Okay, so that tension is not
So
there.
it may be the same movement carried into the psychological field.
But there it may not stop.
Huh?
There it may not stop. Here in the physiological field, some
Right.
physiological
field it stops, but
stops.
the same thing is carried on, and it's never ending there.
Right.
I'm seeing one satisfaction of, and it's endless.
Right.
Is that so? That this energy is, the drive is to be satisfied, both biologically as well as psychologically.
But if it is to be satisfied, sir, then in the beginning there should be unsatisfied state.
Of course, I'm hungry.
Yes.
And psychologically, I'm lonely.
Yes. But
There's a feeling of emptiness. There's a feeling of
depletion.
Insufficiency.
Yes.
And I go off to a god, to a church, to gurus, to idiocy, and all kinds of things happen. That's all.
Sir, whether this material depletion or material emptiness, when I'm hungry, this is the material.
Let's keep to simple words, like emptiness.
Yes.
Emptiness is quite I'm going to use that word. Not having enough.
Yes.
Let's keep it insufficient.
Yes.
Physiologically, the insufficiency is satisfied very easily. Psychologically, it is never satisfied.
That's right.
So the physiological fulfillment of insufficiency does not involve thought.
No.
If I am hungry, I have the sensation,
Yeah.
I eat food,
Yes.
it's fulfilled.
The other is endless satisfaction.
Because thought has intervened.
I don't know what has happened. We are going to examine first.
So where does one go from physiological fulfillment to the thought?
It may, sir, it may be physiological movement has entered into the psychological movement and carries on.
But from what you say,
Not what I say. Is this so?
What I'm trying to imply is, it's not a question of whether it is possible or it is choice. It is so. From the moment I am born, both types of wants.
This is the process.
Come into being.
Both begin.
Both begin. Therefore, I am asking you, the source of both things, the physiological and the psychological.
One word, insufficiently should be enough.
It is, and we can
Wait,
use the word.
leave it go on. Insufficiency in both cases.
Both those are structured in a force which then propels.
Yes.
That structuring in one, not one coming together of a number of things, is the self, the I.
And I don't think it is the I.
That's what.
I don't think it is the I.
Why do you say that?
I don't think it is the I. I think this is the endless dissatisfaction, endless insufficiency. Wait.
What is, yeah.
Huh?
What is the source of that?
Can there be insufficiency unless there is someone who is insufficient?
Who knows who is insufficient?
Huh?
That is
Huh?
the question, sir. Who is insufficient?
Who is-
knows who is insufficient?
Can there be insufficiency?
You are already assuming, sir. Look, sir, come out here, come out. I can't see.
Yeah.
I don't positivate the I. I just want to leave him a little space here. This is what is happening. Continuous insufficiency. Right? I go to Marxism, insufficient. I go one after the other. The more intelligent I am, awake I am, the more dissatisfaction. Then what takes place?
You are saying, implying by that there is a matrix without the reality of the I, which in its very momentum can act.
I don't know the matrix. I don't know the
When you say I go
all
for
that
it.
I'm pointing out, one factor is there is a physiological insufficiency which has entered into the field of psychological insufficiency, and that goes on endlessly.
There's an endless sense of incompletion.
Insufficiency. Keep to that word.
Insufficiency, okay.
So could that be something in itself? Because as what you are saying now, it looks like this insufficiency, this feeling of insufficiency is there, it is a fact. And it may be that...
It may not be a fact.
No.
It may...
No, just let's go easy.
That's why, sir, I wanted to suggest, perhaps, at this point we may cut out the physiological insufficiency and...
I'm purposely insisting on it.
I know.
It may be the flowing out of that we create all this business.
I question that, sir. Is it a mixture of physiological and psychological spilling over? What do you exactly mean by spilling over?
No,
One is a fact, another is not.
No, the other is, therefore, there is only physiological insufficiency.
How can you say that, sir?
I don't say that. I'm just investigating it.
I mean, to both people, there is physiological as well as psychological.
Look, Bubulji, say, for the moment I've used the I, just keep, I'm not investigating that. I feel hungry, it has been satisfied. I feel sexual, that has been satisfied. And I said that's not good enough. I must have something more.
The more,
Yes.
the more
The more, what is
is the
that?
momentum.
No. the more is more satisfaction.
Which is the momentum.
Yes,
Which
so
keeps us
all right,
going.
keep to that word. So the brain is seeking satisfaction.
Why should the brain seek satisfaction?
Because it needs stability, it needs security. Therefore it says, I've thought I had satisfaction in this, there isn't any, I'm going to find in the satisfaction and security in that, and there isn't any, and so it keeps on going. That is so in daily life. I go after one blasted guru after another, and so on, or one theory after another, one conclusion after another, one etc.
So this insufficiency at a physiological level, the very nature of insufficiency leads to sufficiency at a physiological level, as the way brain works. It leads from some inadequacy in the physiological mechanism to the completion of it. And it is this cycle that is operative, that's how the brain works. If the physiological spillover is to go or is to continue in psychological field, then this cycle of sufficiency and insufficiency must continue. Should continue. Must continue.
So in yourself, examine yourself. It's very simple. You are seeking satisfaction, right? Everybody is. If you are poor, you want rich. If you see somebody more rich than you, you want that, and somebody more beautiful, and so on and so on. We want continuous satisfaction.
Sir, I want to draw your attention again to the central feature of physiological insufficiency, that every activity to fulfill that physiological insufficiency leads to satiety. That is to say, between the insufficiency and its recurrence, there is always a gap. As far as physiological insufficiency is concerned, as far as psychological insufficiency is concerned, we are beginning a cycle which does not know any gap, at least as far as we understand.
Forget the gap, sir. Don't, that's not important.
All right.
Look, sir, watch yourself, sir. Isn't the whole of your movement, energy, drive, to find gratification? No? Yes. Which is reward or whatever you like to call it.
Yes. But
What do you say, Doctor? Schenberg, what do you say about this?
I think that what's coming out is that this model of the physiological reward punishment schema is definitely picked up by it becomes the whole way everything functions, whether it's logical or not.
That's what I'm saying. That the whole momentum
right.
of seeking satisfaction is captured by the I.
Yes. The I is a manifestation of
That's it. That's what I mean. It is
right.
that. I am seeking satisfaction. It doesn't. There is never saying satisfaction is being sought. I am seeking satisfaction. It should be the other way, actually. Satisfaction is being sought.
Well, I thought you were going to go on even further to say that the satisfaction being sought creates the I, which then creates the sense.
All that's implied. So, momentum is the urge to be satisfied.
I'll ask you a question which may seem to go on. Isn't the I sense inherent in the brain? Isn't the I sense inherent
in the brain?
In the brain cells which have inherited knowledge?
I question it. I question whether.
Shall I tell you a simple story? My daughter, she is hungry. She wants water, she wants food, she wants things.
Yeah.
So she never said I.
So she showed to mother, she is hungry. No, she never used the word. That's not.
I'm asking
no,
a
some
very,
other.
very basic question. That the whole inherited knowledge of man, which is present in the brain cells, which is present in the depth of the rational consciousness, isn't the I sense part of that brain?
Popuji, are you equating here the whole of the past with I?
Of course.
Yes, yes.
This
No,
is where we came.
no.
Of course, the whole of the past.
Wait, that's what we're saying. We're
That's
saying
what I'm asking him whether it comes into existence because of this manifestation of seeking satisfaction, or whether this very centuries of memory which man, racial memory which is the matrix, whether it is the whole of that is not the I sense.
It, my God.
I just see.
You are asking, is there the I, the me, the ego, identifying itself with the past as knowledge?
Not identifying itself.
It is by itself, it is so.
Wait, let me get the question clear.
Not identifying itself.
It is that I.
It is that. It is time.
Time.
Yes. I mean, it is time as the past.
I understand, people, what I'm
And the I sense is the whole of that.
Wait. You are asked. You said at the beginning, does the brain contain the I?
That is what
I am coming to that. Does the brain contain the I? I would say, temporarily, investigating, there is no I at all, but the pure satisfaction. Knowledge, all that, pure satisfaction. Then that satisfaction says, I want more. There is satisfaction first, insufficiency and being satisfied. Then the I is merely a fascia, a bundle which says I. The I is not, is fictitious. What is not fictitious is insufficiency. See, look at it first. Look at it first.
I've looked at it now. Is the past fictitious?
What?
The whole racial history of man fictitious?
What?
Is the whole racial memory of man fictitious?
No. But the moment you say, I am the past, the I is fictitious. There is the past.
1 minute. Is the past itself saying that I am the past, a part of the past saying that it is the past? Or is it?
You see, you are raising a question which is really very interesting, because do you observe the past as the I? There is the whole past, millennia of human endeavor, human suffering, human misery, confusion, and the appalling things of a million years, right?
Yeah,
Is that movement, that current, that vast river. There is only the vast river, not I am the vast river.
No, sir. But I would like to put this into this a bit more. When this vast river comes to the surface, it comes to the surface in the form of the I. The I. It is identified with I.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Now,
so.
let's
Sir,
just
one minute. Before that, there is
Pupul, the I may be merely just me. Let me. The I may merely be a means of communication.
The journalism.
No, not journalism, not propaganda, journalistic. But the I says, well, I am. It's a façon de parler. It's a way of talking.
Is it as simple?
Huh?
Is it as simple?
No, I'm just beginning. It's not as simple as that.
Sir, at At one point you said the manifestation of the stream is the individual.
Is?
The individual, as we human beings live. That stream of sorrow, the manifestation of it is the individual.
No, go slowly. There is this vast stream of sorrow, all the rest of it, that manifests itself as a human being, in human being.
Is the I present or not?
No, wait, that's not point yet. That vast stream manifests itself in a human being. Then the Father gives it a name, a form, and then I say, I am I, which is the form, the name, the idiosyncratic
the learning process.
Environment. But that stream is me.
I think if we relate it to our original question of the momentum, we have come to a basis for probing further. The basis for probing further, as far as I understand it, that the momentum is provided by this activity, which is a projection of a physiological insufficiency, to which this psychological continuity gives the momentum, and that momentum then creates the I. I thought we have
No, I wouldn't. Ajitji, make it very simple. There is this vast tree, which is obvious. I
did not want to start with that. I wanted to start with our momentum and then say...
That is the momentum.
I am saying, sir, that we are looking with our existing knowledge at the stream and identifying the stream. The identification is done post facto, whereas it really starts with the momentum.
No.
How can one see that? You see, all this then becomes, the way Krishnaji puts it, becomes something which is not really linked to the depth of myself. The depth of myself says, I want, I am, I become, I need. That depth springs from the past, which is knowledge, which is the whole racial unconscious.
But why is the I there? Why do you say I want? There is only want.
But this is which is what is being said. But still, by saying that, you don't eliminate the I.
No, you eliminate the I when how do you observe, in what manner is your observation of this stream? Do you observe it as the I, observing, right? Or observation of the stream only?
We have moved slightly away. What one does with observing is a different issue. We are talking of that nature of energy which brings about the momentum. What I am saying is this: the momentum is the very nature and structure of the I, which, because it is becoming.
I want to question the I, whether the I exists at all. It may be totally a verbal, non-actual. It's only a word that has become tremendously important. The word has become important, not the fact.
It has emerged out of the stream.
No, just take this. I may be wrong, just look at it first.
But isn't the imprint of the I in the brain matter, isn't that an actuality?
No, I question it.
But the imprint is there, but you question if it is an actuality.
Not the blueprint, the whole momentum, this vast stream is in the brain. after all, that's the brain.
Yeah.
And why should there be I at all in that?
Sir, when you're talking of the actual, it is there.
It is there only verbally.
Wait a second,
Sir,
Krishnaji,
you are
I think
saying-
it's actually there in a bigger sense. If you and I are together, I think there are two parts to it. If you and I are together, my identification of myself as I is with relationship to you. I am not you.
Sir, when are you conscious of the I?
Only in relationship.
No, go, just understand, when are you conscious of the I?
When I want something, or when I identify with something, or when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm conscious.
I know, you don't say I'm looking at the mirror. When
No,
you
but
see
I'm conscious
when
of
one
an I
sees
being
one's
there.
face.
As soon as one becomes conscious of mind, this I starts.
No,
Right.
sir, don't assert anything, sir. We are investigating.
But if that is so, if I is relative from factor to factor, then I must be variegated, must be different. Means my I would be different vis-a-vis you and Krishnaji and other people.
That's
If-
a certain kind of I. I'm just trying to add a distinction
I have
here.
a
There is an
bank-
I that's...
I have a bank account. It's in my name, signature. It's all that's verbal.
That is your relationship, though. Your bank account is your relationship to the society because it represents your assets in the society.
Yes.
So it's your relationship in the total social
So-
structure.
But, Doctor, what would you say when I have some innate experiences, when I feel hungry all by myself in a forlorn place? I still identify or try to investigate or try to name that my innate experience as my experience.
No,
Now, there
no,
is relation-
no, sir, I question it.
Say if I'm hungry.
No, you don't repeat that, sir. You understood. When you experience, at the moment of experiencing something, there's no I.
All right, there's no I. Agreed. But the I emerges a second later.
How?
The I emerges a second later. It emerges.
No. Look, go into it slowly.
That is the question of the momentum. That is the question of the momentum.
Right.
You're missing my point. There is experience. At the moment of some crisis, I don't like to use the word experience because that's the whole verbal meaning of it is entirely different, so let's leave it out. At the moment of a crisis, there is no I.
Right.
Then later comes the thought which says that was exciting, that was pleasurable, and that thought creates the I which says, I have enjoyed it. Right? Don't agree, please. This is not an agreement, this is an investigation.
But what is it? What has happened there?
That's just one question. I want to ask you a question. Is the I a concentration of energy?
Is the I
Is the I a concentration of energy? I mean,
no.
the energy that dissipates.
It is the energy that dissipates.
Yes, but still it is a
No, it is not I.
It
is an energy that's being misused. It isn't I that use the energy wrongly. There is a...
No, I'm not saying I use energy wrongly. The I itself is a concentration of energy that dissipates. As the body, look, as the body wears out, the I, in that sense, has the same nature. It gets, old, it gets stale.
Pupul, darling, just listen to me. At the moment of a crisis, there is no I. Right? Wait, follow it. Huh? Now, can you live, is there a living at the height of that crisis all the time?
No.
Wait, sir.
No,
I question, wait, wait, sir, one moment, for favor, one moment. Crisis implies, demands total energy. Right?
You would have to.
Wait, sir, I'm finished. I'm finished. One moment, I'm finished. Crisis of any kind brings about the influx of all energy. Leave it for the moment. We'll break it up afterwards. At that second, there is no I. Not okay, it is so.
All right. That's a movement.
No. At that precise second, there is no I.
Okay.
Now I'm asking, is it possible to live at that height all the time?
Why are you asking that?
Then, if you don't live that way, then you have all kinds of other activities which will destroy that.
That's such a fantasy. So what?
Huh?
So what? I mean, I don't understand why you're clinging to that memory.
No, it is not a memory.
Why would you ask the question?
I'm asking because what the point is, the moment thought comes in, it brings about a fragmentation of energy. I've got it. Please don't agree. Right? Thought itself is fragmentary business. And so when thought enters, then it's a dissipation of energy.
Not necessarily.
You said that at the moment of experience there is no I.
Not I say so.
Yes,
say
it is so.
It's so.
It is so. At that moment of experience, if that is physiological.
No, psychological too.
Holistic, it's total.
The whole thing. Crisis means your nerves, your body, your eye, the whole thing.
But how has thought come now?
A second later.
Is that the momentum?
No.
Which brings thought?
No, the question really amounts to is this. We say it is so, but that still does not answer the question as to why the I has become so powerful. You have still not answered.
I tell you why.
Because may I go one step further? At the moment of crisis, the I is not, but the whole past is not.
Definitely. That's the point. At the moment of crisis, there is nothing.
There is nothing. Now, why are you not seeing, or I won't say accepting, why are you saying no to the I being the mirror of the whole racial past?
No, people don't.
Why are you saying no to that?
Because I'm saying no, because it may be merely our habit of communication.
Is it
I have had an experience.
Is it as simple as that?
Is
the I structure as simple?
Maybe. I think it is extraordinarily simple. What is much more interesting, much more demanding, is whenever thought comes into being, then dissipation of energy begins. Wait. So I say to myself, is it possible to live at that height?
I question, though, whether the minute there's something wrong with saying that the minute thought enters, because look, we have an event. There's this total crisis. Out of that total crisis, I I mean, in fact, I come into relationship with you, which then we start thinking about how we're going to order what is happening.
That's it, wait. But the moment I comes into it, there is a dissipation of it. If you left out I, and I left out I,
Okay, all right.
then we'll organize it properly.
Then I would say it another way. I would say that you want to say there's dissipation of energy, and I say that that's the flow of
Yes,
life.
yes, call it what you like.
Okay. There's energy.
Call it what you like.
Okay.
But then also you have to change, because you said in the moment thought comes in, there's dissipation of energy. But in the moment the I comes in as thought, there's a dissipation of energy, which is a difference.
Thought is memory, experience, all
Well, but
that
you
stored up in
you
the
have to
mind.
think in your life. You have to think in your life.
Yeah, but you see what we're doing right now, and what I find myself getting into is when we say dissipation of energy, I immediately take up the position of the observer and say that that's bad. But what I'm suggesting here is that it's really a neutral event. There is a crisis and a dissipation, and a crisis and a dissipation. That's the flow of existence.
No.
I know it is.
I know it is the flow of.
His point is that this is the flow of existence. But the transformation which he's talking about is to negate that.
I know, and I question that.
It really comes to that.
I question whether there is any such thing as a breaking out of this flow. I think that's a fantasy. We remember the intensity of the energy of the crisis, and then we say, well, I'd like to keep that all the time. You do that.
No,
You'd like
I
to
don't.
keep it- Well, then why ask the question?
I'm asking I'm asking the question purposely because thought interferes.
Not all the time.
No.
Not all the time.
So shall I
Question it, sir. Question it. The moment you have a crisis, there is no past nor present, only that moment. There is no time in that crisis. Moment time comes in, dissipation begins.
I say, sir.
That's all. Keep it for a minute then.
Sir, in this second step, is it the identification that starts the third process? That is, there is this crisis. Then there is this second dissipation. Now, even with the dissipation, implicit in it, there is no identification. The identification is the third.
No, sir. No, sir. Look, sir, during the World War II, in England, I wasn't there, but I was told by various friends, Lady so-and-so, Lord so-and-so, the aristocracy, they told me, we lost all sense of class. We lived together in the underground. Which is a crisis which took place, and everything disappeared except the crisis. My class, my aristocracy, my this, my not, that. Moment the war was over, they went back to their castles and I'm Lord so-and-so.
Sir, what I feel is that crisis which you call war or any other thing, you see, it is a point where the energies of all together is required, and therefore you, for the time being, forget your I and be a one group, or whatever you call it that way. But sir, I feel that still that I remains. One has to go above the mind, and what will be that stage wherein you can just go above the mind and...
No, sir, there is no going above the mind.
It has to be.
No, sir, I won't discuss with you. When you say it has to, you're not investigating.
Sir, whether it is a moment of crisis or bliss, as you said, it is something, or as we feel, it is like living at zero level.
If you like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Now, are we implying that we should always be at zero level?
You can't. You can't.
You can't. I mean, having vanishing of this I comes at that level, and there is an experience of either crisis or bliss. I mean, even in a moment of bliss, there is no I. Even in a moment of crisis, no I. We all agree to that. But if
not agree,
even to that, it's not so easy to agree to, because at a moment of crisis, many things happen.
Right.
So, what he talks of holistic position at a moment of crisis.
Yes.
Even to come to that, one has to have investigated very
Of course,
deep
very
into
many
self
things.
in order to be able to even know what this thing is. You see, this investigation
You
deep
see,
into
Popo,
self.
holistic, if I can, what the holistic. Holistic implies a very sane mind and body, a clear capacity to think, and also holy, sacred. All that's implied in that word holistic. Now, I'm asking, is there an energy which is never dissipated, which you wanted to ask? There is dissipation when it's not holistic. Right? Right?
That's the question.
I'm asking you.
Well, I think if you make that statement, it is so. But you see,
I say when you are not, when
How
it is
does
not.
the statement make it so?
well, it's a logical statement in that sense. It is true because when you say something is a whole energy, how possibly could whole energy dissipate into something else?
No, that way, yes.
Not interesting. Sir, look, I just made a statement. Just look at it. Don't step on it yet. I made a statement. A holistic way of life, in that there is no dissipation of energy. Non-holistic way of living is dissipation of energy. That's all I said.
Is it W?
Wait, sir. I haven't finished yet.
The whole
Now,
W.
I will ask you a question. What is the relationship of the holistic and the non-holistic to the brain cells?
To the
Brain cells.
I didn't understand.
What
Brain
is
cells.
the relationship of the holistic and the non-holistic?
There
to
is
the
no relationship.
to the brain cells.
What?
To the brain cells.
The man to the brain cells. Wait, I'll show you. Let's look at it. That is, a holistic means this. We understand the meaning of that word. I want to be quite clear that we understand the meaning of that word. Holistic means all complete whole, complete harmony, no disintegration, no fragmentation. That's a holistic life. That is endless energy. I say so, you may say, go to nonsense. The non-holistic life, which we know, fragmented life, is a wastage of energy. Wait, just a minute. How do you receive that statement?
As Populji said, what is the difference between
No,
holistic?
I'll hold that question in mind. I first would like to go into what you have said just now. I'll hold that question for a moment later.
No, she said, sir, I made a statement of that kind. She said, please, let me listen to that statement.
To this statement before I bring up.
Let me listen, not argue, spin around and churn the butter. Just let me look at it. Not that she's accepting it or denying it. Let me assimilate it. Let me look at it. Let me observe it. When there is a feeling of whole, there is no I. Right? The other is the movement of thought and the past time and all that. That is our life, our daily life, and that life is reward and punishment and continuous seeking of satisfaction.
Now I'll ask my question. When you want to is held in the brain cells. That is it through abrupt responses.
Yes. Go slowly, yes, I understand.
Non-holistic is held in the brain cells. It is this whole stream of the past.
Yes, it is centered in the brain cells.
Meeting a challenge.
Go on, dear, go on, move.
Now, the holistic, what relationship has it to two things?
Keep it simple.
To the brain cells and the senses.
And?
The senses.
Self.
And senses.
Senses. Let me get the question. Have you got the question, Doctor?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Well, as I see it...
Not as you see it.
I mean, as I see her question.
No, not as you see it. What is her question?
Her question is, what is the relationship of this holistic state
in the
brain to memory and the past and the senses?
No. You were caught out, you weren't listening.
I said there are two states. He's positive two states. The holistic and the non-holistic.
Right.
The non-holistic is definitely held in the brain cells because it is the stream of the past held in the brain cells, challenged and momentum. I am asking him, what is the relationship of the holistic to the brain cells and to the senses?
Yeah. That's what I said.
What do you mean by senses?
Senses.
Eyes, listening, seeing, tasting.
Yeah. Can I
No,
go into that?
This is the proper question.
Can I go into that?
Yeah.
I think there is something that from what we're saying, that there is a different relationship of such part functions as you're talking about in the holistic state. In other words, they're not really part functioning, they're functioning as part of the holistic state, whereas in the dissipation of energy or the fragmentation, they begin to function as isolated centers.
Sir, her question is very simple. Our brain cells now contain the past, right? Memory, experience, knowledge of millennia. Which those brain cells are not holistic.
As cells.
Huh?
As separate cells.
And they are not holistic. Keep to that. Don't try to move it. Keep to that for a moment. She says the brain cells now are conditioned to its life of non-holistic way of living. What is the relationship of, no, I won't call it relationship. What takes place in the brain cells when there is a holistic way? You understand? That's our question.
I would put it a slightly different way. Is I would say what takes place in the relationship to the brain cells in the holistic state of perception.
I'm going to answer that question. We'll discuss it.
That's a different way of putting it.
Same thing. What is does the holistic brain contain the past? And therefore, the past can be used holistically. Which is quite different. I'm getting it. Because it is whole, it contains the part. But the part cannot contain the whole. Therefore, when there is the operation of the part, there is dissipation of energy.
What did you say for the first?
Huh?
What did you say for the holistic? What did you say for the holistic? that it is the total past, it contains the total past.
Does the holistic contain the total past? Oh, go on, the discussion.
More.
No,
It contains the past and more.
And
It
more.
would be, it's
Because
not
it
even
is the whole,
conceived of as
it
past.
contains all parts. No, no, careful. You people just guess.
I want to get it.
This is the question of life.
Why do you say it is the question, sir?
Sir, unless one goes at a stage above the mind, then
No. It is, you're coming from some ashrama, I'm quite sure. No. You're not investigating, sir.
You see, after going through all this, we have come to this point.
That's a marvelous point. Stick to it, stick to it.
Sir, there are between holistic and non-holistic, at least at physiological level, there are two processes involved. In one, a stimulus or a crisis takes place, and there is the energy complement. That energy complement, by the very inception of stimulus, creates a disturbance. If the amount of energy available is total, then that disturbance can be consumed, can be assimilated.
But you know,
No,
I don't wish to speak in
you're going
only
off to something
conceptual.
else, sir.
You see, I don't want it to go into any conceptual things or any.
You see, you're conceptual.
Because I don't know the holistic state. I am asking, having gone through the non-holistic state, having seen the non-holistic state in operation, I observe my own consciousness. And I say, he makes a statement that in the holistic sense, there's a totality of energy which does not dissipate. Then I ask him a question. First, I used the word relationship, he discarded the word relationship. What is its place in the brain cells, which is the structure of the human mind? And secondly, does the holistic state contain the total past?
Now wait a minute. We know only non-holistic way of living. Right, sir? Keep to that. That's the fact. That we live non-holistically. That's a fact. Right? Fragmentarily. That's our life, actual life. And that is a wastage of energy. That we see that too.
Yeah.
Because there is contradiction, there is battle, there is all that is a wastage of energy. Now we are asking, is there a way of living which is not wastage of energy?
Yes, there is.
No, don't say there
How
is.
does one know?
Okay. Do you live it? And so we are dealing with facts, not with theories.
Well, yes.
Huh?
There is a state which we can live, as you say. We do. I may not be at all times. It may be a fleeting moments, but there are experiences.
Sir, this becomes purely theoretical.
No, sir, I'm not saying about theory.
Let us get this thing which we have been asked, which you have still not completed.
We live a non-holistic life, fragmentary life, broken life. You understand what I mean, broken, right? You understand what I mean, broken? Saying something, doing something else, and so on, so on. Contradictory, comparative, imitative, conforming life.
Knowing moments of silence,
Time,
going out
all
of
the rest of it. That's
all that.
fragmentary way of living, non-holistic. That's all we know, right? Madam?
Yes.
Yes. And somebody says, is there an energy which is not wasted? And the question is, let's investigate it to see if it is not possible to end this way of living. That's all the question is.
Yes, but then I asked a question in that, and you're still not.
I'm coming to that. That's not a much later question, because they're asking what is that energy which
No,
is...
I asked whether the one is contained in the brain.
That's what I'm coming to, because I think that's a very difficult question to answer. Which is, one lives a non-holistic life, which is a constant seepage of energy, wastage of energy. One sees that, actually. Then one asks, is it possible to live a life which is not that way? That's the question. The brain is conditioned to that, right? Right?
Not always, sir.
No, sir, I'm not interested always. It may have sudden flare.
So we can't make a statement it is conditioned. We can't take it for granted that brain is conditioned to that fragmented life. Or
so I may occasionally have a breath of freedom.
Yes, sir, but that's what we are investigating, whether that breath of freedom could be a totality.
No, it can never be totality because it comes and goes.
I think it could be.
That involves, sir, we've discussed this ad nauseam with the professors, which is anything that comes and goes involves time.
Yes, sir.
Time involves a fragmentary way of living. Therefore, it is not whole. Right? I mean, we can discuss this later. For the moment, we'll get on. We live a non-holistic life. The brain is conditioned to that. Though occasionally it may have a flare of freedom, but that flare of freedom is still within the field of time. Therefore, it is still, that flare is still a fragment. Therefore, now, the brain is conditioned to that, a non-holistic way of living. And is it possible for the brain to completely transform itself, not to live the way of conditioned for centuries? That's the question. Right? Right, sir?
My response to that is that here you are in your state of fragmentation. Here you are in your state of dissipation of energy.
Absolutely.
And now you are looking for satisfaction.
No, I'm not. I am saying this is a wastage of energy.
Period.
Period.
That's all you got.
That.
You got nothing else.
Nothing else. So the brain says, all right, I see that. Then it asks a question, is it possible to change all this?
I wonder about that asking.
I'm asking it. Therefore, if one brain asks it, the other brain must ask it too. Which is not based on satisfaction.
No?
No. Because it sees, if it seeks satisfaction, that again becomes endless. So it has finished with satisfaction.
Could you say anything about how you can ask the question about such a state without seeking satisfaction?
Because the brain has realized for itself the game it has played.
So how is the brain going to ask the question?
It is asking it because it says, I've seen through that.
Yeah.
Now it says now, is there not satisfaction more, but is there a way of living which is non-fragmentary, which is holistic?
And that question is asked holistically.
No.
No?
Not yet. Is there?
That's what I'm having trouble with, is where that question is coming from. You say it's not satisfaction, it's not holistic, it's not... What brain is producing this question?
Because it says, I see very clearly the wastage of energy.
Let me ask you one.
Not from brain, but from heart.
Oh, no, no. Brain, you see, it's...
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you. The very fact of your saying that it has seen through the whole problem of fragmentation.
Yes.
The very seeing of that whole...
Is the ending of it.
Is that holistic?
The ending of it. That is holistic.
In the very seeing of the
Yes, I think
total
so.
fragmentation.
Seems to me it is.
Huh?
Itself holistic.
That's a holistic.
But your question remains unanswered.
No.
No, that would be the answer. That's why I said, is that a holistic question? And I think it is a holistic question. When you come to that, if it's not satisfaction, then it's a holistic question.
But she asked a much more complex question, which is, does the holistic brain contain the past?
Totality.
Totality, or the essence of the past. Better, essence of the past. Yes. Not the totality of the past, but the essence of the past. The juice of it, the sucking the everything out of the past. So what did that mean? The past is nothing, right? But such a brain can use the past. I don't know if you follow what I mean. So, now I'm concerned with my life, with one's life. Actual, daily, beastly, fragmentarily, stupid life. And I say, can that be transformed? Not into greater satisfaction. Can that structure end itself? Not by an imposition of something higher, which is just another trick. I said, it can if you are capable of observing without the observer. By Joe, I see something, right, sir? So the brain can transform itself. That's meditation, not all the nonsense that goes on. Right? So the essence is the whole. Huh?
Essence is the whole, and the whole is the essence.
The essence is the whole. In fragmentation, there is no essence of anything. How do you put this across analytically, psychotherapeutically? All right, I've finished. I wish we could continue from there.
Try.
I know.
Next, we'll fix up.
You let me know.